See, I don't believe that everyone's, oh, nobody wins. That's just not true. Somebody always wins. And sometimes both can win because they want really different things. We can be for women without being against men. Now, they may perceive it that way, and that's fine. That's on them. But that's not the way it works. It's we can be for you.
Welcome back to the Sterling Family Law Show, the podcast designed to help family attorneys build the firm of their dreams. I am your host, Tyler Dolph. I'm also the CEO of our hyper-focused family law firm only marketing agency called Rocket Clicks that was born out of our very own family law firm, Sterling Lawyers, that has grown to over 27 attorneys. Today, we have Heather, who runs Florida Women's Law Group, a law firm only for women. She has 7 attorneys and does an amazing job building and growing her practice. Heather, thank you so much for joining us. If you wouldn't mind, introduce yourself to our audience and tell us a little bit about your firm.
Absolutely. Thank you. My name is Heather Quick, and I own Florida Women's Law Group. We are located in Northeast Florida, the Jacksonville area, and we represent women only going through divorce. And the firm has been open for about 15 years now and had some different iterations, grew as I grew, and we became what we are today, which is 7 lawyers, a little over 30 employees.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that growth. Talk to me about Women's Only. Was that always the start? How did that come to be? And how do you use that as a strength today for your firm?
So that was not always what we were doing. Actually, when I first decided to open my firm, I was going to do criminal defense. And because I had been a prosecutor, and that just seemed the natural thing to do. Unfortunately, prosecutor at heart, couldn't really work to keep people out of jail. That just wasn't part of who I was. And that was part of the evolution, I think, of the whole firm, is finding something that I love, that meant something to me. And so family law just seemed to naturally come to me. And then I really started to enjoy it. And then, of course, I realized and put the pieces together that I had a front row seat to my parents' divorce and remarriages to other people and subsequent divorces. So I had a lot of experience. Um, and I saw a lot of it. So that really, then I realized that's just why I'm so good at it, because I
You've been there.
understand,
You can empathize.
right, what they're
Yeah.
feeling. So then that began to grow. And I then realized, and this was also through a lot of business coaching, personal coaching, and growth, that I realized I really liked helping women. I noticed that they were going through the same patterns every time, patterns I recognized from watching my mother go through the divorce, and the patterns I saw her take during probably 2 or 3 of those divorces. And really resonated with me. I was like, wow, I can really make a difference for these women, because I can, provide the strength and get them to the other side when they don't believe in themselves. And so that was when I took the leap to do women only, which was, a little nervous for me, because you're like, is everyone gonna laugh at you, think it's just a gimmick? But it wasn't, it's not. And it has allowed us to build a firm that really, is meeting the needs of our clients, and we can anticipate their needs and those predictable things that they go through. That is also something that we can do. So it's really turned out to be wonderful.
That's great. I read a stat recently that 60% of divorces are started or initiated by the woman, and that number jumps to 90% if they have a college education. So, what I'm wondering is, because you're women only, did you have to shift how you educate and work with your clients, knowing that most of the time they were initiating the divorce, they were starting the process? Did you feel like it was a longer kind of consultation cycle before it actually happened, or would you say it was on par with when you used to have both?
I think that there's like the 2 different tracks, right? We have some people who are in our funnel for years, and they've seen us, they're watching the videos, but this was a couple years ago. The stat said 4 years. A woman, it takes her about 4 years. I would say 4 to 6, really. I think many women, when asked, knew quite some time ago. And when they have the ability to wait, they do for various different reasons. And till there's that, this is it, I'm done. And so, yeah, I think there's the one where we definitely want to continue to educate, support, provide really good resources for the women who are waiting, and then some, just get to us right when they have decided. And part of that, women making that decision, is that then they're ready for it to be done yesterday. So that's a challenge, right? It's like you've been married 15 years, been thinking about it for 5, but you want us to do this in just a few days, which is, impossible. But at least we understand. We understand they are ready. Now it took so long and they have made this big decision. They're ready. They're ready
Yeah,
to go.
that's really interesting. All right, if we can, let's rewind the tape a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey. How'd you get started? You mentioned you were, a public defender and went through that. As you evolved your firm and you started to make this evolution into women only, what did you learn along the way? Help us, educate our listeners on what it takes to really pivot your firm, one, and then really double down and focus. Will be the second.
Well, it took a resolve to make that decision. And for me, it was wonderful just to determine why. That helped me a lot. This is why I want to do this. I don't think that's necessary for everybody, but it can be very helpful, because when you tell your story, when you're marketing and there's a reason why you're doing what you're doing, it's much more compelling. So I think that was an important part, and it means something to me. And that way, when people ask, I have something to say as to why we do this. And I can talk about that, for ad nauseum, like, right, more than anybody wants to hear. But it also resonates with the client. So really understanding why you're doing what you're doing, and why it's important to you, because that then allows me to put in all those many hours back in the day when it was like, we're going to build this firm and we're going to, pivot it this way. And now this didn't come overnight, but allows me to have really better conversations with people we're hiring, right? Because we have a mission, we have a reason for doing what we are doing. And I want people on board with that. And if you're just here for a paycheck and you don't really get behind our mission, I'm not saying we won't hire you, but if somebody really is behind our mission, we'll pick that person first, because we are trying to explain to you why we do what we do. And we want people who believe in that. And particularly when you're in, business to consumer, we're dealing with individuals all day long who are very raw in difficult times of their lives. It makes it that much more important for me as an employer to know I have staff that they really care about this. They really care about helping women when they are in this difficult spot.
That's great. And I'm sure that that comes through in the consult room, and it comes through during the entire process that, like, they have an advocate.
Yes. And then there's a balance there. That's important too. It's like, we are your advocate and we're here for you, but we're not your friend. We are your attorney, and we are strong, but we're also going to stick up for you. And so we do work really hard to convey that and help them understand that that's who we are as a firm. And believe it or not, it's not a fit for everybody. Not
And
all
that's the
women,
whole
not
point,
all women
right?
want it, and that's okay. Yeah.
Yes. When you were crafting that narrative around women only, I feel like, in today's political environment, it's very polarizing. You're like one end of the spectrum or the other. I feel like you could have gone very, men are evil, don't trust them, all the things. How did you find that, like, where were you gonna sit in the
Mhm.
women only messaging?
Well, I think, again, it goes back to the way I am, because I'm not that person. And there are those attorneys out there, which is great, because sometimes that's what people think they want or they do want. That's not me. I don't hate men. I'm happily married. However, I want to fight for women. I want to be there for women. And that's where, same with my podcast called Women Winning Divorce. See, I don't believe that everybody's, oh, nobody wins. That's just not true. Somebody always wins. And sometimes both can win because they want really different things. And so we can be for women without being against men. Now, they may perceive it that way, and that's fine. That's on them. But that's not the way it works. It's we can be for you because I believe you are better than him. I believe you do more than he does, and I believe should try to get you as much money as I can, or save whatever money is yours. So for me, it was a very natural way to go about it because that is the way I feel about it. So it allows me to be very authentic with that. It may not be what everybody thinks. They always think, oh, you're such a men hater. It's like, whatever, if that's what you want. I mean, you can say anybody, people say what they want anyway, right? And think what they want, but it really isn't. Now, it doesn't mean that if, it's got to be a battle and trial and, he's the worst thing. Okay, we will go there. But if you guys are amicable, great. And I have softened as I've aged and done this more, right? As to helping people, because that is what we do. And we try to help them and really try to establish, what do you want overall? What are your objectives? And now let's craft a way and a strategy to help you get there.
Hey, family law firm leaders, my partner, Tony Carls, just released his book where he lays bare our precise blueprint for growing sterling lawyers from 0 to 17 million. This is the blueprint that we still use daily. And Tony explains it in very simple terms. The truth is, this is not simple to do. Success requires and demands hard work, but if you have the patience and the work ethic to do it, your family law firm will succeed.
One thing you continue to say that I think is really important for our listeners is oftentimes firms or businesses, their culture embodies the culture and the mindset of the owner, founder, CEO, right? And that comes into play in hiring, as you mentioned. But I think it's really important that you have a point of view. Like, if you're going to run the firm and you're going to grow and scale the firm and hire employees, you need to you can't just be in the middle, like on the fence all the time. You have to have a point of view.
Well, it makes it easier to talk about what I think and what our firm is about, instead of, it doesn't matter, we're here for him, we're here for you, we're here for anybody. But yes, it makes it a clearer message for me, and definitely our point of view. And it allows us, like you said, to craft the messages and the marketing in that way to create the resources that are for women. I don't have to have, different material based on who the client is. So really that is, makes that simpler.
So that's the start and finish of every process you build. Like, okay, well, we already know our avatar. We know who we're marketing to, who we're talking to, who we're building this firm around. Focus is everything. Yeah, that really helped us in our consultancy. We used to work with all types of different businesses. And as soon as we pivoted and only worked with family law firms, it became so much easier because you weren't building everything for everyone. You were building something for a single avatar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely helps. And then you get better because the clients all have similarities. So you can learn more and just continue to grow and be better for your clients because they all have those similarities in the same, same likenesses. Obviously, they're individuals, but it makes it so much easier and makes us better, right? Like you said, because the clients are, similar and you learn from it.
100%. How have you had to grow in being a leader as your firm has scaled?
Well, in delegating is a big thing, and allowing others to make mistakes. That's very difficult because, in hindsight, you're like, oh, I wouldn't have done that. But would I have made the mistake? Maybe. I don't like mistakes. I don't like things that when they don't go the right way, and learning how to react with grace for the person who made a mistake and with a way to take it as an opportunity to do better and learn and not be just lashing out or really hard. I used to be more like that when I was younger, just because there was a lot. I had so much writing on it. I have 3 children. They were younger, married. You have a lot of plates in the air, everything going at the same time. And something didn't go right. And then I was in court a lot. And that I don't really allow for any of those kind of mistakes in the legal work, right? In the other parts of things there can be, but there are things that didn't get done and or not the way that it should have. And I did lash out a lot. I was more very short, and I've learned to grow from that. And it does help to hire others because then I might have my initial thoughts and then, or write out like what I'm really thinking. Well, you don't sending that to anyone. And then now they're showing up. Okay, well, now tell me and let me take it in. It doesn't mean I won't, address the issue, which that was a stupid thing to do, or I wouldn't have done that. However, not in a now you're fired or I hate you. So use it right. It's not, and we're dealing with people. We still are dealing with people. I even the more the AI grows, I'm like, I would like to have more AI and people, but they are people and they're using their best judgment with the information they have. And so I've really had to learn to just be better in dealing with that because I can't be here every single day making every single decision. So you've got to trust that, train them, trust them, and let them make a mistake and hope that they're going to come tell you so that we can do better instead of being such an ogre that nobody wants to tell you and the whole place burns down. So we don't want that. So
Yes, 100%. I couldn't agree more. As you've grown and thought about the future of your firm, do you foresee a day in which you're not practicing at all and you're just the leader of the firm, or how do you think you're going to have to continue to evolve as your firm grows?
I think in that way, and really with the platform of the women winning divorce type vehicle, I think that's where I'll go with that and create more resources and more for women, even beyond divorce. It's like, right. And so the divorce will be one thing that we do, but overall, it will be more and become more of a inspirer, motivator, leader, and, provider of information. I think that's where I really want to go. And I have so many interests as it just relates to women and in their aspects of life, work, business, marriage, and how those intersect. And so I think there's still room for me to do a lot in that space.
That's great. I love that you're thinking such big picture and you have the opportunity, and the better leader you can become, the more time and resources you'll
Mhm.
have to go pursue those other interests.
Yes, and also, as my children, I've got one in med school, one in college, one still in high school, but that frees me up to go visit them and my nieces that are both in college and do things like that. That is very important to me, which we all work hard, but we want that freedom to be able to, go visit them and have their time. So that's been really great for me as well.
Love it. Heather, I appreciate your time today. As we're finishing up, I want you to think about your experience, and if you were to um, give a piece of advice to someone starting their own firm tomorrow, right? What do they need to think about? What can fast track them to be successful and grow this new firm that they're starting?
Um, I do believe very strongly in coaching, in business coaching. I would highly encourage you, even when you don't think you have the money, there have been to have someone who can provide you with that roadmap and encouragement and accountability is really invaluable. I did that when I started my business. I'm very thankful for that because be careful. Well, I guess that's one, and then really look at who you're taking advice from, because do they really have the expertise to advise you. It may not be the other lawyers in your community unless they have what you want, unless they're doing something that you think is great, because a lot of them aren't. So I would just be very careful from whom you take advice from as far as running a business. Have they run a successful business? And is it really successful and profitable? And, I think those are two things that will allow you to get sound advice, because you shouldn't do this totally on your own, even though it says, solo practitioner, I'm opening a business. Like, really seek out good, solid coaching and help, and pay for it, because then you've got skin in the game, and
You'll take it serious. Yeah.
It will take you serious. And I think you can fast track your growth and build what you really want to suit your life. So I think that would be the number one thing.
Tyler, I'm so appreciative of your time, your amazing story and wonderful firm. Wish you all the best and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you so much for having me.